Majority Floor Leader Jon Echols was elected in 2013 and serves on every committee. Again, could you please grade the last session in overall productivity and success in your perspective? And what, if any, interim studies in which you're involved? You mentioned Loft, and that first meeting was yesterday. So.
And well, thank you so much for having us. I would echo a lot of what the Pro Tem said. I've looked forward to attending this meeting every year that I've been elected. It's been great. It kind of hits me, the very first meeting I attended as a freshman legislator, one of the things I said that was unique about the Northwest Chamber, your legislative delegation, is I went through the leaders that were on here on both sides of the aisle. Then we had members like Jason Nelson and David Dank and members in significant, Randy McDaniel, significant leadership positions. It feels a little surreal to come back later and to be in one of those positions. But what I also want to tell you from the House's perspective, but I would also say it to the senators too, but from the House's perspective, you sent us some rock stars up to the House of Representatives, and we are very thankful for that. We have a strong freshman class from this Northwest Chamber. We also, in addition, have senior members that are still in leadership. Tammy West, Representative Munson, Representative West, caucus chairs of their respective caucuses. I say all that to say it's an honor to be here and to give you our thoughts. And I would say that the state of the Northwest Chamber delegation and the state of the delegation in Oklahoma is good. And I wasn't able to say that 2 years ago. And those of you that were here, I didn't say it 2 years ago. There's a whole lot of doom and gloom. I would give this session an A. I would give this session an A+. It's the best session I've ever been a part of. You can talk to people that have been around the legislature for about 30 years. They'll tell you the same thing. This is one of the best sessions we've had in the history of the state of Oklahoma. We moved together in a bipartisan way, which was very exciting. A lot of these bills that the Pro Tem was talking about, bills like Loft, it has bipartisan representation on it. It's the Legislative Office of Fiscal Transparency. It was Senate Bill 1. I appreciate what the Pro Tem said, that the history will go down as that is a Pro Tem Speaker bill, and without their strong support, that wouldn't have happened for both of them. And it's a bipartisan look at how do we spend taxpayer dollars, something we can all agree on. I will also tell you the mood in specifically the House was better than I've ever been a part of. No one person and no one party can take credit for that. I think our leadership team, because we do have some stability in the House and leadership, it's the Speaker's third year as Speaker. It's my third year as floor leader. Our budget chair is returning. Our Pro Tem is their third year. You had strong leadership in the minority caucus. I think that led to a lot of the collegiality that occurred. But we also had almost 48 freshmen out of 101 members. I want you guys to think about that for a minute. So yeah, it is a big deal. And frankly, the freshman class did an excellent job. Then when you get into the freshmen and sophomores, over 2/3 of the House of Representatives, when we gavelled in, had 2 years or less experience. So that could have gone one of two ways. They could have gone what I see happening on the national level in national politics, which is something that I wouldn't really want to be a part of, I'm really glad Senator Bice does. I'm sick of the fighting. They didn't go that direction. They went the exact opposite direction. And leadership wanted that. So because of that, what did we accomplish? How can I give it an A+? Over the last 2 years, we have given over a $7,500 teacher pay raise. I'm going to repeat that. Over the last 2 years, we have given over a $7,500 teacher pay raise. Over the last 2 years, education funding has increased by 25%. Over the last 2 years, education funding has increased. These are hard numbers. In addition to that, we passed new governmental reforms, giving the executive, Governor Stitt, more authority over his agency heads. The buck needs to stop with someone. Someone needs to be accountable, and he's willing to take that, coupled with Loft. And what's exciting to me, what gets me excited, because again, I have two members that are above me. If you're talking about the Senate President Pro Tem, the Speaker of the House, the messaging you see from core leadership is we're not done. We're not done with the upward trajectory for the state of Oklahoma. We're not done with a new way of doing business that plans for the future, that not just puts money in the rainy day fund, but saves money for a future day. We're not done with bipartisanship. Now, are we going to agree on everything? No, of course not. What fun would that be? So that's not what's going to happen. And there's strong disagreements on both sides. But government, local government functions best when we have the ability to look each other and say, we strongly disagree, we vehemently disagree. Now let's find the areas we can agree on and work together. And let's find the areas we disagree and go have a good, clean fight. And that's what we've been able to do. And that's what I think we will continue to do as your state government. I'm on the tail end of my legislative service. I have 5 years left till my term limit. I sincerely doubt I will serve all 5. I will run for re-election for 3 more terms, and after that, that's all my wife's given me permission to do so far. So I'm very, very cognizant of what is this building going to be when I'm gone, when the President Pro Tem, who I'm a big fan of, when he's gone. If we can continue to set this higher standard, if we continue to be a model, it's better for the entire citizens of the state of Oklahoma. And I think we showed last session what we can do. And I should have said this final. I spoke a lot about Republican, Democrat. House-Senate relations were better than any year I have ever been a part of that. And I'll say that publicly, and you will have the House floor leader write it down, praising the President Pro Tem of the Senate, which I don't know would have happened. I don't know what had happened in years past. But those relationships are solid. They're good. Not that we did. This is what happens. So I love what the President Pro Tem said. Hold us accountable. You don't want to hear us bashing each other. You don't want to hear me blaming the Senate. You don't want to hear the Senate blaming the House. Because this area does. Most of the people I talk on the doorstep, they don't know if I work in D.C. or Oklahoma City or if I'm in the House or the Senate. They don't know if I'm a Republican or a Democrat. They know we got it done or we didn't. Last year we got it done, and if we continue to work together, I see a very high trajectory for the state of Oklahoma.
Thank you very much.